very different feel to this game tonight. When I stood before you last time, I was disappointed. I was disappointed in our effort because of the standard that we have set, that our kids have pretty much met throughout preseason and coming in. Performance anxiety is real, and I think you saw a lot of nerves on the court last game. We settled in, we watched the film. Our kids competed on both sides of the ball. Super proud of their effort. In the first half, actually the difference in the game, tale of two halves. Difference in the game, the first half was offensive rebounds. They gave up 15. We gave up 15 offensive rebounds, which contributed for over half of their scoring. Our first shot defense was incredible, but we gave up those boards. Halftime, got their attention and made some promises if we didn't change. We only gave up 3 in the second half. We put a body on somebody and we had a physical box out. Now, we got to address the turnover situation. The turnover situation is because we're doing what I've asked them to do in terms of drawing 2 people, but we're trying to make something happen. And instead of just kicking that ball out, you've drawn the 2, kick it to the next person, let them create. We're trying to force it. I think you guys saw what Gift Uchenna could do in the first half and second half. Now we just got to clean up the fouls, which is why we play the way we play on the perimeter, is to help protect our inside. I think the game in the second half, besides the turnovers, came down to a 2-minute span. Once we had taken the lead, we lost their shooters twice, and then we turned it over. I am tremendously proud of our young ladies for how they came back. Yes, we got Kayla back into some action today, probably played her too many minutes coming off of a sickness. But again, 4 young ladies in double figures. Isabella's getting better and better, and she's one of those that'll learn to give up that extra one instead of trying to force it. But again, super proud of our young ladies' effort. I told them to forget the outcome of the game and compete, and I think you guys saw that.
Is that part of the next step now in terms of what you're doing offensively in some of the parts of the third quarter and early in the fourth when you made the extra pass and you got the open look, is to kind of reinforce the importance of continuing to do that for a full 40?
Let me tell you something. Those first 2 games of the season, I thought it might take us 3 games to get to 28 points. But to put up 28 points in the quarter, it was unselfish basketball. It was having pieces. It was having our interior working. It was having the spacing. It was utilizing playing some smaller lineups, where, hey, y'all want to go in and double? Okay, great. We'll stretch it here. That's why these young ladies were recruited. And you see it works. And again, it's still early. I got to remind myself it's game 3. But if we can do what we did in the third quarter and defensively what we did in the second quarter, once we can put that all together, I like what we're building. How
good is that team with 4 SEC, ACC level transfers?
Yeah. I think what you see when you look at their head coach, most of them played for her in junior college. Yeah. You go to that level, you weren't getting the minutes. I told her, her team reminds me of my first-year team with all those Power 5 transfers, and they're still trying to put theirs together as well. But they came home to a coach that they knew, and that's what I told her, that familiarity of her system those kids are used to playing in. I like her group. I like them. Those kids competed hard, and they kept sticking with it. And like I said, we're going to get there.
It seemed like you could kind of see they were a veteran group in terms of when you all made your runs at them. It seemed like they were always able to punch inside or get it to Thames when realizing she was the hot hand in this night, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I told her. I walked through the line and I said, you got to be about 30 by now. And she was like, Coach, I got 1 more year. And I was like, good Lord. But the kid is a veteran. I believe she was the #1 junior college player in the country at one point. And so, yeah, you got some veteran leadership, and the only difference in those kids is experience. And that's what I talked to our group about. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Tierney Brown. What I told our kids is Tierney has sat in their shoes. She's been on that bench, and she didn't like it. I played that kid at the 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, 50, whatever position I put her at. She has accepted that role. You see calculated drive, straight line drive, somebody's there, she kicks it. She shot 50% tonight, hit both her free throws because she's playing her role. And as I explained to our younger kids, as trust develops, your role expands. And Tierney Brown, one of our captains, she showed that tonight. She showed that tonight, and I'm really, really proud of that kid, especially about to take her home this weekend.
You kind of touched on it earlier, but how encouraging was it to see this team fight back on a couple of those runs Monroe made when they get up by 10 and you were able to erase that and take a lead?
Yeah, I'm proud of them, man. Like I said, I'm proud of them. They're showing some growth, but I still got to get some more calluses. We're getting bruised up. Alice's eye is swollen in there, but the kid came right back and was tough in that quarter. But what I'm asking them to do, when I talk about toughness, if we could block this group out, there's no way this group is almost 20 rebounds better than us. Those are the little things. If we take care of that ball, which I'm going to have to implement something to get their attention, but if we take care of that ball, it's a different ball game. But these baby dogs are growing. My pups are growing, and I'm going to stick beside them.
It seemed like a big part of the game was the runs that ULM was able to go on,
Mhm.
big runs,
Yep.
like 10 plus. What do you think could have been done differently to limit those runs?
Not have certain people in foul trouble on our bench, and taking care of the basketball. A lot of those runs were live ball turnovers, which I mean if we make a travel turnover, they got to inbound it, and we get a chance to defend it. But if we make a lateral pass and the other team steals it, we can't catch those kids. That's the difference in live ball. That was the difference in the runs of where we were turning that ball open and then not recognizing who the shooters were and giving up 5-10 feet on a shot, and they knocked down some open threes. I think that's where their runs came from.